Good evening, dear friends. I see, I see in your eyes that many of you don't understand many questions in the comments. I see the questions you constantly ask. I could answer all these questions, of course. But my task is to give you not a fish, but a fishing rod. Today, your mental abilities will finally return to the past, and some will even reach unprecedented heights. Let's add a couple of megabytes, and for some even kilobytes, inside your brain, neurons to pulsate there, to start connecting with each other again, new neural connections to form. But to ensure this, we provide you with nutrition, how we will feed them through our two arteries, of course. These are the carotid and vertebral arteries. From the names, you can roughly guess that the carotid artery, if it is blocked, a person should fall asleep. And the vertebral artery is located inside the vertebrae. And you are absolutely right, friends. So, friends, the history of the discovery of these arteries is very interesting. The thing is that the carotid artery was discovered in 1723 by the founder of judo. With his own hands, when he was choking his next student, he noticed that the latter was losing consciousness not from lack of air, but precisely because he had blocked his carotid artery, and after that he founded the flexible way, the way of judo. And the vertebral artery, friends, unlike the connection with martial arts, has more to do with the neck department of the spine, this so-called canal. Here is the vertebral artery inside the transverse processes of the vertebrae. It passes and makes a bend here, a bend over the first vertebra and the occipital bone. Conditions, as you see, are many for this artery, but what you might think could compress the carotid artery are also muscles. Like here, the vertebral ones. They are compressed by short neck flexors. This is a group of muscles that are here between the occipital bone and the first vertebra. They are often strained because the larger muscles, the long neck flexors, which are located here, weaken, and the load shifts to the weaker short flexors. A similar situation, but completely different. She's right here in front of us. We also have a muscle here, the styloid sublingual muscle. Nobody knew about it before the existence of anatomy. Nobody assumed in the old times that the disruption of blood supply in the carotid artery could also be related to a mechanical cause. But this is, friends, so many centuries, we only blamed atherosclerosis of the carotid arteries. But the thing is that there can also be a mechanical cause, and the styloid sublingual muscle is to blame. The styloid sublingual muscle is a small muscle, but it can cause you a lot of harm. It is located between the styloid process and the sublingual bone here, and when it is strained, when it is shortened, and if the double muscle next to it is also strained, then the carotid artery is compressed, as in a vice, as in a bear's paw. Our poor carotid artery is simply squeezed between these two small ones, insignificant muscles. If they are cut off, it's unknown whether anything is felt or not. Of course it's felt, but no one has ever done it. It's uncertain what exactly will occur. So, friends, our task today is to free two of our arteries so that fresh blood can flow into our brain and supply every single neuron so that it can bask in the luxury of blood and work productively. For this, we will start training the neck muscles, the long neck flexors, to remove the load from the short neck flexors. We will improve the mobility of the first vertebra in relation to the occipital bone. We will put a load on the short neck flexors to unload the short flexors, and also we will relax the sublingual muscle and the load on the sternocleidomastoid muscle, a powerful neck muscle without which your head will not stay on your shoulders. That's the plan. Now, let's begin with the exercises. Friends, what do you think? Why am I in such a good mood today? Do you think it's because spring has come? The sun is shining brighter and the birds are singing? Yes, but no. Today, literally just now, I received cash back from my purchase last month on my Tinkoff Black debit card, credited in real rubles directly to the card. And you too can get cash back for everything, friends. Cashback is a return of a portion of the money after you have made purchases with the card. It is returned to the Tinkoff Black card once a month in real rubles. With Tinkoff, you can get cashback up to 15% for pre-selected spending categories and up to 30% for purchases on special offers, which can be found in the bank's application. You definitely go to supermarkets for groceries and household goods. Sometimes you have to spend money at the pharmacy if you're not feeling well, and you might order something on the marketplace to treat yourself or your loved ones. You can get cash back for all of this, and it's especially nice when it's increased. And of course, if something is unclear, the bank's support will always help you, by phone or in the app chat around the clock. Apply for a Tinkoff Black card using the link in the description to get cash back on everything and save with every purchase, friends. Link in the description. So, friends, to understand whether you should do the exercise or rewind this video to the beginning and start watching it again, first take this test. Look, lie on your back on your bed. You hang your head like this so that it is hanging. And in this position, friends, time yourself with a stopwatch. After how long these muscles of yours will start to get tired. Maybe they will even start to sag like this. The head will start to shake. And ideally, well, at least 20-30 seconds, you should be able to hold. Like this. This is an indicator of whether your neck muscles can hold the weight of the head. And then after some time, do these exercises for a week and compare. Will the result be positive or negative? If it's negative, don't write anything in the comments, but if it's positive, thank you so to relax. Whoever watched up to this point, I'm only showing them now to relax the sublingual muscle. Watch what you're doing. They turned their head, found such a gap here, it will just fit between the jaw growth and here the growth of the jaw with this. They pressed there with a finger. You can slightly move the jaw to the side. You will come across something like this, dense and tense. This will be exactly the sublingual muscle. And if you have never touched it before, start gently massaging it. Don't rush. Carefully from one side and the other. Don't press too hard, so it doesn't hurt the next day. Start with at least 10 seconds from one side and the other. After this, you'll notice an unusual effect. The colors have become brighter. I see the crow's eyes, as if I'm looking straight into the eyes of a crow or a doctor. This is a cutout, friends. Notice that the vision has become clearer. Hearing has become clearer. You yourself have become clearer. And overall, everything has become clearer. Such an effect. So, friends, let's start with the muscles of the back of the neck. For this, we put our hands on the back of the head. We tilt our head and make a movement like this forward. Don't apply too much pressure. That is, your hands just lie there. For the weight on the back of the head, and in this position, you look down. Look forward, look down, look forward. Your hands just lie, and here you do 10-15 such repetitions. But here's an interesting situation. Your muscles might be developed differently. It usually occurs on both sides. So in addition to doing this exercise with both hands at once, try doing it with one hand. But while doing this, your hand isn't just lying there, it's pushing slightly to the side, meaning you're pushing a bit over here to the side, while your head is moving forward and backward. Here, while doing this, your sternocleidomastoid muscle will also be strained, simultaneously with the neck flexor, and these two exercises can be combined. Here, you may also notice that it's not very comfortable to do it from one side. This is exactly the side where your muscles are weaker. Next, we lie on our side with you. Extend the arm forward. and we start to move the head up and down. Here, our sternocleidomastoid muscle starts to work, as well as some lateral neck muscles. More load goes to the sternum clavicle. Now we turn our nose in such a way that it looks at the elbow bend, and we start to lift the head like this, in this way. Here, our sternocleidomastoid muscle is already involved, as well as the neck extensor. This exercise is also very useful to do if you have a difference between the muscles on the right and left. For example, if the left muscle is weak, then you do it on the right side as well. In two positions, you can do it from one side and the other in two positions. That is, but it looks forward, but it looks at the elbow. You have two positions, so the next movement is separately on the chest key, with a visible muscle. For this, you lie down on. Lie on your back, turn your head to one side and start lifting it. Lifted, lowered. If it's too easy for you, this load is already familiar to you. You've tried it. Then you can put your hand here. Also for weight.
Turn your head from one side and from the other side.
Every exercise, every movement you make is from 10 to 15 times 2-3 approaches. Next, you can simultaneously load both neck muscles. And here it is good to train short neck flexors with them at the same time. That is, you jerk your head and start making an upward and downward movement. Up and down. So, against the background of tension in the sternocleidomastoid muscle, you also have the work of short neck flexors. The mobility of the first vertebra is restored, and this part, which is usually immobile, between the first vertebra and the occipital bone, starts to move. It starts self-adjusting, so to speak, the Atlas adjustment that many dreamed of 10 years ago. Well, friends, in this way we have improved the condition of our arteries, and so now our brain, like in youth, will bask in fresh arterial blood again. Well, friends, write down your impressions with your newly updated microprocessor inside your head. And so, until new broadcasts, we write and put likes, also comments. And until new broadcasts.